linen nightgown. Off-white with short sleeves, button and lace embellishments, very well constructed with the flat felled seams in good condition with just minor discoloration, recently laundered. What can we start this
You
at?
have 10.
10 bit 15 bit 15 bit 15,
Yep.
15 bit 20 bit 20 bit 20, 15 bit 20 bit 20 bit 20, 15 bit 20 bit 20 bit 20. This was your great grandma's lingerie,
Yep.
folks. 20 now, 25 bit 25 bit 25, 20 bit 25. You wouldn't be conceived unless
Without
grandma was wearing one of these. 20 bit 25 bit 25 bit 25. 20 is the bit it showed her ankles. 25 and now 30 bit 30 bit 30, 25 bit 30, 30 now 35 bit 35 bit 35. 30 is the bit now 35. 30 which bit 35, could you give 35, could you go 35?
Yep.
35 and now 40 bit 40 bit 40.
Yep.
40 now 45. 40 which bit 45, could you give 45, could you go 45? And it was probably very nice and cool in the summertime with the linen. Linen is fabulous to sleep in and during hot weather. 40 now, 45 and 45 and 45. Hey honey, maybe that's what I need to get with my hot flashes. 40 now, 45 and 45 and 5. Yeah. 40 and 45 and 45 and 45. 40 would you bid 45? Could you give 45? Could you go 45? All in, all done. 40 bid $45 going once. 40 bid $45 going twice. Last call. Sold. $40. That went to the Dana Auctions bidder. That was a nice buy. Lot number 57, we have 3 vintage white cotton nightgowns, one with short sleeves, the other 2 are sleeveless. All have dainty embroidery in the yoke area. All are in good condition. What can we start them? Oh, what do we say? All in good condition with the faintest of discolorations and a tiny pinhole. Here we go. Okay, what can we start it at?
130.
130, 140, 140, 140, 130, 140, 140, 150, 150, 150, 140, 150, 150, 150, 160, 160, 160, 150, 160, 160, 160, 150, would you bid 160, could you give 160, could you go 160, 150, 160, 160, 160, 150, 160, 160, 160, 150, 160, 160, 160, 150, would you bid 160, could you give 160, could you go 160? My mic is all messed up for some reason. I might change the batteries. 150, 160, 160, 160, 150, 160, 160, 160, all in, all done. 150 now, 160 going once. 150 now, 160 going twice. Last call. And we sold it, $150. That went to a Dana Auctions bidder. All right, now we have 5 vintage white cotton nightgowns. These are all long sleeves. One has dainty embroidery, 4 have ruffled embroidery and glazed plackets. All are in good condition, recently laundered. There's a large brown spot on the shortest one, a bluish discoloration under the arm of another, and other small faint discolorations. One has a small wear pinhole at the yoke. Okay, what can we start it at?
You have 60.
60 bit 70 bit 70 bit 70, 60 bit 70 bit 70 bit 70, 60 bit 70, 70 now, 80 bit 80 bit 80, 70 bit 80 bit 80 bit 80. The description says 3, the title says 5, there's 5 in Danny's hands. We're selling 5, just so you all know. 80 bid 90 bid 90 bid 90, 80 bid 90 bid 90 bid 90, 80 would you bid 90, could you give 90, could you go 90, 80 bid 90 bid 90 bid 90, 80 bid 90 bid 90 bid 90. Come on, folks, they should at least be worth $20 a piece.
Yep.
90 now, 100, 100, 100, 90, 100, 100, 100, 100, 110, and 110, and 110, 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 100, would you bid 110, could you go 110, could you go 110, 100, 110, and 110, and 110, 110 now, 120, 120, 120, 110 now, 120, 120, 120, 110 now, 120, 120, 130, 130, 130, 120, 130, 130, 130, 120, would you bid 130, could you give 130, could you go 130? 120, 130, 130, 130, 120, 130, 130, 130, all in, all done. 120 now, 130 going once. 120 now, 130 going twice. Last call. And we sold it $120 to the live auctioneer bidder. All right, this is pretty cool when we found this. Men's vintage white cotton nightshirt with a Babe Ruth label. Closes with 3 buttons at the neck. One is detached but present. Recently washed and in good condition. What can we start it at?
Yeah, 35.
35 and now 40, bid 40, bid 40. 35 bid 40, bid 40, bid 40. Hey, honey, you want a Babe Ruth nightshirt? 35 bid 40, bid 40, bid 40. 35 bid 40, bid 40, bid 40. 35 bid 40, bid 40, bid 40. 35 with a bid 40, could you give 40, could you go 40?
Yep.
40 now, 45 bid 45 bid 45. 40 is the bid now, 45. 40 would you bid 45, could you give 45, could you go 45? 40 bid 45 bid 45 bid 45. 40 bid $45 going once. 40 bid $45 going twice. Last call. And we sold it $40. That went to the Dana Auctions bidder. Lot number 60. We have 3 vintage white petticoats. This is the first group. We're calling it Group A. Includes petticoats with pin tucks, lace, and embroidery. One is missing a closure at the waist and has faint spots. The other 2 tie at the waist and also have faint spots, discolorations, and tiny pinholes. One is also hand embroidered with the initials SM. What can we start it at?
40.
40 now, 45, 45, 45. 40 is the bid now, 45, 45 and now 50. 50 bid 60, bid 60, bid 60. 50 bid 60, bid 60, bid 60. 50 would you bid 60, could you give 60, could you go 60? 50 bid 60, bid 60, bid 60. I have 50 bid 60, bid 60, bid 60. 50 bid 60, bid 60, bid 60. 50 would you bid 60, could you give 60, could you go 60? 50 bid 60, bid 60, bid 60. All in, all done. 3 for 1 money. 50 bid $60 going once. 50 bid $60 going twice. Last call in time. 60 now 70 bid 70 bid 70. 60 bid 70 bid 70 bid 70. 60 bid $70 going once. 60 bid $70 going twice. Last call.
Yep.
70 now, 80 bid, 80 bid. Come on, live auctioneers, pick up the pace. 70 bid, 80 bid, 80 bid, 80. 70 bid, 80 bid, 80 bid, 80. 70 bid, $80 going once. 70 bid, $80 going twice. Last call. Sold $70. That went to a live auctioneer bidder. Lot number 61. We have 3 vintage white petticoats. This is Group B with pin tucks, lace, and embroidery. One closes with a tie and is in good condition. The other 2 with a button on the back, and the buttons are missing. Aside from that, there are the typical small spots and discolorations. There's several large and smaller holes in these pieces as well, but still would be fine to use as an underskirt because the ruffles are fine. What can we start it at?
You have 10.
And now 15. 15 bid 20, bid 20, bid 20. 15 bid 20, bid 20, bid 20. 15 bid 20, bid 20, bid 20. 15 would you bid 20, could you get 20, could you go 20? 15 bid 20, bid 20, bid 20. 20 now, 25 bid 25, bid 25. 20 would you bid 25, could you get 25? And now 30 bid 30, bid 30. 25 bid 30, bid 30, bid 30. 25 would you bid 30, could you give 30, could you go 30? 25 bid 30, bid 30, bid 30. All in, all done. 25 bid 30, 30 now, 35 bid 35 bid 35. 30 is the bid now, 35. 30 would you bid 35, 35 and now 40 bid 40 bid 40. 35 bid 40 bid 40 bid 40. 35 would you bid 40, could you give 40, could you go 40? 35 bid 40 bid 40 bid 40. All in, all done.
Yep.
Cheap, 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 folks. Thank you. 40 now, 45 bid 45 bid 45. 40 is the bid now, 45. 40 would you bid 45, could you give 45, could you go 45? All in, all done. 40 bid $45 going once. 40 bid $45, 45 and now 50 bid 50 bid 50. 45 bid 50 bid 50 bid 50. 50 bid 60 bid 60 bid 60. 50 bid 60 bid 60 bid 60. 50 bid $60 going once. 50 bid $60 going twice. Last call. Sold $50. That went to the Dana Auctions bidder.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.